Great. Welcome to
House of Whimsical Terror.
I'm Esther.
I'm Mary.
And we're coming to you today from Clyde in County Galway.
Yes, we are. And we're telling real stories of the fantastical.
And all of our stories are true or told to us as true.
That's right. And today's story is...
Stories of the Backroads. This is so great. And my friend Martin is here as part of our campfire series.
We didn't even know we were doing a campfire series.
We decided.
You guys are all here.
Yes.
I love it.
I feel bad. This was totally a gathering to get together and thank everybody. And now it looks like we're just grabbing their stories.
Yeah, and I'm thankful for it. I'm thankful.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Martin Kenny is an amazing theater artist, and we just finished an amazing production together, and now he has a story for us
to share with our audience.
To chill your bones.
Hi, hello.
Hi.
So when I knew I was coming here yesterday, I sat down with my parents over dinner and I was like, give me all your stories.
Love it.
So there are little snippets of different pieces of them. But what was funny was that when my mum started telling a story, then it like made my dad think of a story, and then my mum thought of another story, and then my dad thought of another story. So there was nice little bits back and forth. And both of my parents are from Mayo, so the county that's just north of Galway, and both from very rural areas. So a lot of the stories that they would have would share certain similarities because of being in like similar areas, basically. But the story that my mum told me was basically based around the house where my grandfather grew up. So it was in a place in Mayo called Strade. And my grandfather, when he was a young man, the house was right beside a fairy fort, which in Irish mythology are very charged places. And a lot of strange things would happen there. So the recurring thing that used to happen in my grandfather's house was this short man would visit them very frequently. And this little man had a hawthorn walking stick. And hawthorn as a wood is very indicative of like the fairies, the fae people in Ireland. So he would come into their house, and my grandfather's mother and father would pay huge deference to this man. And they never said why or why they had to appease him or anything like that. But he would come in, he would say nothing, and he would sit in the corner, and he would leave his hawthorn stick on the ground in front of him, and then without touching it, he would make it dance around the room. Ooh. So the hawthorn stick would just dance around, apparently. And apparently my grandfather was witness to this on multiple occasions. But the house was also generally had this like air kind of terror around it. Just generally. Because you couldn't go outside after a certain amount of time because you would be pelted with stones out of nowhere. You would just be hit with stones if you went outside the house after a certain hour. And if you went outside the house after a certain hour and then went back inside, the house would then become pelted with stones to make sure that you stayed in the house after a certain time.
That is so creepy.
And I feel like there was one other thing about, and there was any time that if they were ever like baling hay or like putting hay together in a field in order for it to be put into a bale, every morning after they had put it together the night before, it would be moved, and it would be moved all around the place, and they'd never find a way to get it back into the same position again. So the house was apparently just like a little terrorized by the fairies who were in the fairy fort nearby. Wow. And I know we're near to a fairy fort right now, so treat us nicely. I'm not talking bad about your people.
One stone to throw.
And there's so many around us right now. So that was kind of the house. But then what that made my dad think of was that there was a story, or multiple stories, which I was really unaware of, kind of about priests and priests getting to give the last rites to people in like the areas where they're from. So it was always said that if a priest was going to administer the last rites to somebody, that no one was to talk to the priest before or after. And my mum and dad both always kind of wondered why that was as kids, but it was made very clear never to talk to them. And apparently that was to do with the fact that in their communities, at least, they believed that basically the priest and the devil were both racing towards getting this person's soul first. So if anyone interrupted the priest in getting to the body, it meant that the devil could get there first. Meant the devil could get there first. It's the devil.
I know. I'm like, what is happening? Oh.
So that was one. So my dad had a story then, apparently, that one night it was his father's house that someone was being administered the last rites to in. And the priest came and administered the last rites and asked my grandfather to walk with the priest back to the end of the road, because it was always said as well that the priest needed to be accompanied by someone else so that the devil also wouldn't get the priest. The buddy system works. So my grandfather was asked to walk with the priest to the end of the road, and they got to the end of the road anyway, and the priest turned to my grandfather and said, I really shouldn't have asked you to do that, but thank you, but I did just put you in mortal danger.
Oh my goodness.
So apparently the devil was nearby, apparently, in that story. So, yeah. And we have now Connor joining us from... Hello.
This is a very, very chilling story.
Or we keep rolling.
Yeah, we can.
Or we can take a break. Oh, yeah, we can keep going.
And then, all right.
Yeah, we'll say hello. We'll say hello.
Say hello.
So we'll end this particular episode. Thank you, Martin.
Thank you so much, Martin. And thank you to our listeners. Please come back and listen to more stories and share them with your friends. So long, good friends. Until the next time when we meet back at the house. Wherever we may be.
Yes. Like Ireland.
Yeah.
County Galway.
County Galway. Bravo.
That was good.
I've never heard that.
I'd never heard it either.
Yeah.
I know, yeah.
Yeah.
I know. And my mum visited that house a lot when she was a kid.